I've just noticed now there's this pattern that with women, they make videos and they share their thoughts and how it's almost like it's an offense for a man to ask that of a woman, which I don't understand because it's a normal question to ask. Like, if you guys are planning on building something together, I need to know as a person, just as a woman to the man, I need to know what will you be bringing to the table. Like, what are your qualities? What's your character like? Like, what's your vision 5 years from now? All those things like are important conversations to have. But now women don't want to have those conversations at all because all the burden is just on the man only.
Hi everyone, my name is Alicia Bikud and I am today back with Faida.
Yes.
Like I know that you have been blessed for the by the last video we had our talk, our girl talk.
Yes.
And I believe it has been a blessing for many of us.
Yes.
But today we want to tap on a subject that has been just, we see it everywhere. Okay, we see it that some of us we had maybe not Fafi is not part of us, but some women have this realistic idea, or let me say not maybe a realistic, maybe you can afford it, maybe you can have that man, but that wrong idea of the role of a man.
Yes.
And even the place of a woman in that.
Yes.
Because we saw last time the Proverb 31 woman. Never we saw somewhere that she said that she was depending financially on her husband pocket. So where this idea came from, like how women start to understand and to believe that if men are not able to provide financially in a certain way, because not just having financial abilities, like I want the rich things, I want the the travels, I want the golds, the jewelry, the bijou.
Jewelry.
Thank you. So where is it coming from?
That's a good question. My theory, I think
She has a theory.
I do have theories. I think it first stems from the fact that a lot of women now have like experience a lot of disappointment with men because either father issues or past relationships, or just seeing the way that certain men, not all men, have been going about life in their relationship with women, that some women now just reduce men to their ability to be able to provide financially because it seems like a man can't do anything more for a woman. That's my first theory. My second theory of like women who only look at relationships or men just for, material gain or financial gain. I think those kind of women just have not gone a reality check. Because the reality is, okay.
Reality check. Yes. Oh, this is this. I want to know about it.
Because I think we have this idea or this movie in our heads that, when we get married, we want everything to already be set in stone for us. But a lot of the big people, the rich people that we see today, when they got married, they did not have the same finances or the same gains that they had 20 years into their marriage than when they started with. Some people don't understand that when they get married and they put two heads together and they build towards a vision, they're able to multiply and be fruitful. But the problem is now women want that right away.
Yeah.
So that's
you're
why
gonna have it right away. You gotta have it right away.
But that's a lot of pressure I find that they put on men, and I think it's unrealistic because normally people get married in like their mid-20s, and in your mid-20s, unless you're born in wealth, you're still building your life.
Yeah.
As a woman, as much as I'm building my life, I don't expect the man that will come approach me for marriage and all of that, I don't expect him to have his life all put together. What I expect for him is to have some sort of vision that makes sense that we can build towards, and you'll see a lot of.
So you're not interested at all about his money? Like he's not supposed to have anything?
That's not what I said.
Okay.
I didn't say that he's not supposed to have any money.
Yeah.
Because the problem is now with women, like, you're gonna look at a man, okay, and just if you just hear that he has no job, you're gonna immediately dismiss him. But you don't realize that this is a man, although he doesn't have a job right now, he is educating himself, he is building otherwise, he has solid plans, not just like words, like he has actual plans that he's working towards to be able to bring financial gain for his household. So a man like that is not, like, the words that they would use now is you would call a man like that a bum.
Why is it people are so wicked?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have heard some really crazy things. It's not even just that he doesn't have a job. I've seen some woman, a guy, he's like a plumber, and it's like, no, I can't settle for this. What? And it's crazy because you're the sister who's judging a brother for having a certain job that you don't like, but you don't even have a job.
But that's the thing. I am the job.
Oh.
Oh, actually, I'm agreeing with that. Okay, I'm just trying to be in your mind.
No, it's wrong.
And I know it's wrong, but I think most of it also have to do with pride.
Yes.
Because there's no way that you will look at that man down if you're not dealing with pride.
Yes.
You're dealing with pride and you think that this is self-worth. It's not self-worth.
It's not.
It's just that you're so prideful that that person doesn't deserve an attention from you because he's not supposedly rich. But what if he was rich and he lose all his money?
Yes.
What if the bankruptcy is happening the next day after your wedding?
That's my point.
That's
my point.
You're just gonna leave him
Exactly.
because you didn't love him for who he was,
exactly,
but for your interest. And I think that's
Exactly.
what also you want to point is that we have interest marriages.
Yes.
I'm not saying that we can, have a certain, view of what we are looking for in a
Yeah.
man. But when it comes to be like, okay, if he doesn't have money, if he's not, 6, 7, 8 figure, I'm not even looking at him. You have a problem, sister.
You do have a problem, girl.
And it is something that you just said. You said before, what are you bringing on the table?
Yes, that's an offensive question.
Yeah, like I believe that many women, not all, because I also want us maybe to touch, women who also just give money to men.
Well, it depends on the context.
Oh. Are you
Okay.
giving money to men?
No, because like this is again the thing. Like, the thing is, not everything is as black and white as it seems.
Yeah.
If you are, in a relationship and you're talking to a man, you meet him, like, he has no job, he doesn't have whatever, but you believe in his vision and you believe in what, he's building and where God is bringing him. You might be in a time, in a season where
you have more.
Yes, and you have to, first of all, as a man already, a good man, the right man, he will not feel comfortable first with the idea of just you, either giving money or helping in any way because he understands his role. But sometimes life is unfair and you have to go through the process of life, the trials of life, that if the man needs help and you can help, there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. And I have heard, you see a lot of stories of the women who were there for a man when they didn't have nothing. In the future, when he has everything, she has everything because she was faithful, she was loyal, and she was able to help him and be with him at that time, because at that time it's not even about money, it's just about the person.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
how do you make sure that you don't fall into what I call the comment on dit infirmière?
Infirmière, like nurse.
Yeah, the nurse mentality, the one who wants to fix because there's a problem, because there's a difference between helping him,
Yeah,
as like sometimes he doesn't have, and maybe you have, in a certain situation, than trying to fix something, because women sometimes we want to fix when we see that something is not going the way we think it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't have, I heard stories about women who was financially so blessed. They try to buy him a car, buy him clothes, make him look at the man that she would like him to be, even if he isn't. But I'm like, okay, in the context of, like you said, if he has a vision and stuff, sometimes we can be like, okay, is he here for you, or for
Yes.
what you're providing? So how do you make sure that you don't fall also in the trap of building that man because you just want to fix, because you just want to help, that you're doing it maybe too much than what you're supposed to?
That's a good question. I think you when you get to a point where you're able, to help a man when he isn't like, as, let's say, liquid as you, like, normally, if you have gotten to that point, it's because you guys were already at a certain length in your relationship, okay? And he had shown enough, seriousness, faithfulness, assurance to you, and assurance to what you might potentially be building, that you know that what you're doing now is not just for the mere sake of just fixing, but it's kind of like an investment for the future, if that makes sense. So I think, some women, like, if you want to buy him a car just for the sake of buying him a car, like as a gift, that's one thing. But if you want to buy him a car for the sake of, like, let's say, like, so he can start doing like Uber driving or skip the dishes so he has a way of making money for some time, that's a different approach to it. Because then in that way, you're helping him get to whatever vision that he's building towards, versus just, getting a gift or just getting clothes just so he can be the kind of man that I want him to be. Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense. But as for me, I believe that there's a lot of boxes that need to be checked
Yes, of
before
course.
doing such a thing.
Yeah.
Because we also saw how women find themselves, deceived and be
Of
like,
course.
okay, this man just, he abused. And the thing
Yeah.
is, most of the time, he didn't ask for what I've done for him.
Yes.
I've been the one, saying, okay, I don't mind doing this, I don't mind doing it, because women naturally we want to help.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that the man that you have in front of you, and I prefer for you to do it for your husband because you both are one,
Yes.
than do it for someone who is not yet in the commitment of marriage with you.
Yes.
I would say personally, I prefer to, if I really like you, I love you, and I believe that if this relationship is supposed to move forward, I will do small financial help as
Yes.
if I can do it for anyone else. Like if I have the
Exactly.
heart to help assistant church, I will do it. But I
Exactly.
will not give as a lover girl because
Yeah,
that I
then,
can do crazy thing.
yeah, I
If I
agree.
give as someone who is in love, I can give you my whole salary or half
Yeah.
of it because I will just give it with my heart, with my love.
Exactly.
But if I'm like, okay, he's struggling with this, and like you said, he's supposed to be like, but you even if I'm struggling, I am still the man in the relationship, and I want to still be the one providing. But if I'm saying, girl, boy, you're too comfortable, I am sending the money, like, oh, actually, it's not the amount that you told me. I will like,
That's crazy.
okay. So I can do those small
Yes.
things, but I had to see that you are
Yes.
doing the best that you can
Of
to get
course.
out of the situation that you are
Exactly.
in, and that I'm not
Exactly.
entertaining or encouraging you to feel like, oh, you can just stay like this for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and I will just be like this because I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for you. And I'm like,
Exactly. Exactly. You have to assess the kind of man that you're dealing with, right? Like, there's a very big difference between a man who may not be where he is financially, but he's working otherwise to get to a certain point, versus a man that's just, you don't have a job, you don't have anything, you have no plans, you're just sitting on your hands and feet, and you're just receiving my e-transfers just like that, brother. No.
no way.
When women only restrict men to their financial provision, they're not considering the other aspects of men that they're supposed to, bringing into a relationship or marriage. That's why I said that there's a difference between a man who gives you $1 million versus a man who makes you feel like $1 million. And I said that oftentimes, normally, the woman will likely pick the man who makes her feel like $1 million, because like today, a lot of women work, a lot of women go to school, a lot of women have a lot of motion for themselves. So when you're in a relationship with a man, like, of course, like, I mean, if you want to heat transfer me $1 million, go ahead, brother.
Go for it.
You know, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say no to that, but what's gonna mark me is the way that you make me feel as a woman. It's the way that you water me. Am I flourishing as a person? Are you encouraging me in the things that God has for me and the plans and projects that I have for myself? Do I see you as a good father also? Like, I'm glad you have money, but how are you going to be treating my kids?
Thank you. I think that part, some women just,
You forget you're not just marrying for yourself, honey.
yeah, definitely not. You're married also for your children.
Exactly.
You have to look at it. But I love what you said. You said, I feel, and I wanted to say it, the same way some of the women are looking first for finances in a man. We can complain if men are looking for perfect bodies, or okay, I want that woman to doing cooking for me, because this is what you're saying.
Exactly.
Because if you're looking at him in the lens of his finances, he can also look at you in the lens of, okay, you have to cook, watch my like, you're not really different from a cleaner.
Exactly my point.
So if he's a man and you are a woman, you have to bring something else.
Yes.
And you have to understand also the seasons of life,
Yes.
the patterns of life. Do you really love that person, or is it about money? Do you really care about that person? Will you be like what we also say? There's this thing we say when we take our vow and in marriage, I will be with you in sickness and
in health.
In health.
Yeah.
So would you be with that person when you're gonna be sick? Because it's gonna be hard for you just to look at money, and then find yourself with someone you don't love. And I see so many videos of those kind. Oh, I really me in the house of my best friend after she listened to my advice to marry a rich man. I'm
It's
just
crazy.
which kind of advice is it? You have to make sure that he care about her.
Yeah.
Like then, oh, is he millionaire or is he rich, is he able, because those things can just fade away
Exactly.
at any time.
Exactly.
So if you yourself, like you said, you're not a productive woman, like we said in the last video, you yourself, you can bring something on the table if something is happening. So that man is actually helpless. So there's no help that you're bringing.
Yes.
You're just there to eat.
Yep.
You're not different from just
Yep.
you are like this way to say that une charge, you are
a burden.
You're a burden.
Yeah.
You're someone who's liability.
Yeah, liability. Yes.
Yeah. My English is not that bad.
Yes. You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Proverbs 31 again.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's verse 11 or 12. It talks about how the heart of her husband trusts her so much that he lacks no gain.
Wow.
That means that whatever she brings to him, the result of it is constantly an increase in his life.
Whoa.
Do you know how powerful that is? It shows you that it's beyond just like, cooking and cleaning as a woman. It's intelligence, it's wisdom, the wisdom of God that's literally able to bring gain into his life.
And I love what you use, the word that is used. He trusts. Do you know what is trust?
Yo.
That he knows that your intentions are pure.
Yes.
He knows that you consider him as for him.
Yes.
He knows that if tomorrow he has nothing, you will still see him as the king that he is at your eyes.
Exactly.
And I also love, and I think I understand what the Lord is saying, that finding a good wife is a favor. A gift from God. Because such a woman,
it's rare now.
And you have to ask yourself that question. Am I that gift?
Exactly.
Am I that favor from God?
Exactly.
That this man has been praying for or has been looking for?
Yeah.
Or am I a liability?
Yes.
Or am I just like there to be like, okay, the fancy girl, my husband just bought me that gift. But are you really there for the right things?
Exactly.
And I think when we are building a relationship, like you said, for a relationship we have to be two, but we have to love the person and be like, okay, can I do my best to make sure that that person will be happy? There's also a realistic expectation when it comes to body image, like men has to be tall,
Yes.
and women has to be fit, and there's this thing with the going out these days. So if she's not going to the gym, she's not my type. And you were telling me that it's not fair for women just to look at a man according to his height,
Yeah.
or his body figure.
Yeah.
How did you come with that conclusion, or with that understanding? You
Yeah.
neither had the dream of all the women that have my thumb and who were gonna be hugging me from the back. You didn't have that dream. So how did you come with the wisdom of understanding that there's more than this?
Yeah, because listen, like at the end of the day, it's not a body, a height that's going to keep your marriage. Okay, even if as a woman, you're whatever figure when you get married, or the man is 6 feet, whatever. When you guys get married, with time, like you're going to look different. After years, especially as a woman with childbirth and all of that, like if as women, like we have this double standard, like you mentioned it with money, like you know if we have just like we pursue men just for their physique, we can't really get upset that men also start to only pursue women for their physique, because that's what we're already doing. And I find that it's like, okay, you're gonna get a guy who's 6 feet whatever, but how is he treating you? Are you just having him there just to show that you have a man who's 6 feet? I've noticed and I've seen a lot of women who, it's not even about the height of the man, but just women who really found men who loved them the way they needed to be loved. They don't once mention anything about, oh, I wanted him to be like this tall, this whatever. They talk about how the man was able to meet their emotional needs, their physical needs, their spiritual needs. Like you just see a man being a man outside of what he looks like externally, which I find that a lot of women miss now. So you can have the right man come to you, even it can even be the man that God sent just for you, but because he's 1 inch, shorter than what you would prefer, you're gonna say pass, girl.
Yeah. And I feel like for some of us, it's almost a stronghold.
Yes,
Like to
honestly.
be like, okay, how can I give up on this? But you have everything that you need,
Yes.
but you still doubt.
Yes. I believe sincerely that you get to a point that, in your walk with God, and Him being our Heavenly Father, and Him knowing us, He literally created me in my heart that has its desires. He knows exactly what I need, and I believe He will give it to you, but it doesn't always come in the way that you imagined it. Like you shared with me the story of the woman who married a man who was like, I think he's shorter than her, but like she is the happiest girl ever, and she basically got everything that she wanted. But if she had kept the lens or the stronghold of like, oh well, he's not 6 feet whatever, she could be with a man who's 6 feet something, but he's doing the opposite of everything that she would have ever wanted. So I think women have to just lose this. It's not bad to want a certain thing. I'm not trying to discourage women from, wanting a guy to look a certain way, but I don't think you should limit it to just that, when life and love is so much deeper than a person's physique, you know? So we're losing a lot of women now. Women are losing a lot of good things and good men because of just that one point. And it's also just, it's not respectful. I find I've seen some women be really, really respectful, because the guy is taller than her, mind you, but he's not like 6 feet 7. So she's like, well, I'm sorry, because you're not this height. Like, I'm just say something disrespectful, and then you just let the guy go. But it's like, he's he's taller than you, but you're complaining. Ugh.
I feel like, and I love that point, because recently the Holy Spirit just pointed to me about how we have to value others.
Yeah.
Like the confidence that you have of yourself doesn't mean that you have to devalue people.
Yes.
That doesn't mean that, we also don't say that you don't have to have spec.
Yeah.
But we just say what really matters for you.
Exactly.
I believe that we have to deal with that stronghold, and we have to really look at the most important stuff.
Exactly.
the things that really matters, and also ask the Lord to renew our mind in terms of
Yes,
that.
please.
Because also that, I feel like it's just a mundane thing. Also, we just find a thing. Who says that the taller girl is better than the shorter girl?
You
or
know,
taller guy is,
nonsense. Sorry.
it's just God created men and women in a different shape because he's a creator. He's so creative, and he decided to do things a little bit different, but it doesn't mean that you are better than another person. And even seeing things like that is a little bit of pride.
It is.
You can say, God, I have a preference. It's like wanting to have a boy or a girl, but you have also to make sure that you don't see them different. Because you can have a preference, but it has to not touch the core of the respect that you have to give to the person, or the way you see that person.
As women, again, just love God, love Christ, and let him have his way in your life. And whatever story he's building for you with love and men, he knows how to make it beautiful in its own time. So be patient and be open. And please be respectful.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Be respectful.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Papi, for coming. I was really blessed by this conversation, and I hope you are also.
Yes.
Sorry for those who are going to follow us for this video, because I'm not going to continue in English. I'm already tired.
Yeah.
I feel exhausted. Yeah. Speaking for almost an hour in English.
No, but you did well.
I feel like I'm tired.
The day that I'm able to do that in French, well.
You can. Actually, you can. You just don't want to try. But it was funny to have that experience. Thank you.
Of course, thank you.
Thank you. So see you guys on another video next time.
Yes.
Bye.